So we're sitting there and she starts talking and she's talking and she's talking and she begins her PowerPoint. And what is it? A word from our sponsors. Chick-fil-A commercials just start rolling across the screen. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but here she comes with Chick-fil-A kids meals. So she's handing them out. I'm fucking excited. She hands me mine. I'm starving. I put my hand in the bag. There's 3 items in the bag, none of which are edible. I pull out first a cow print condom, which has already been opened, so I can't use it. Well, I shouldn't have used it. And then I reach in and pull out what was the tiniest little cow figurine I've ever seen. And lastly, there was what looked to be a children's book, but upon closer examination, it was actually a copy of The Act of Abstinence. So if you didn't know what kind of sexual education class I was in, now you do. So we're sitting there and she just starts talking again and she's talking and she's talking and I zone out. Naturally, it's what I do. It's like a coping mechanism. It's how I get through things that I wasn't made to sit through. So I'm zoned out and she's talking and talking and I hear my name. Shit, what is she talking about? She asks me what my opinion of birth control is. I say, I think it's great. It prevents a lot of mistakes. Everyone laughs. My serotonin shoots up because I've made everyone laugh. So I'm having the time of my life. She, on the other hand, is on a rampage. I mean, she is storming. She grabs her Bible. She flips to some book about Adam and Eve. And she's sitting there and she's talking about this story of original sin. Adam and Eve are in this garden. They're there. They're both naked and they're not supposed to fuck. You put 2 people in a garden, they're both naked. They're going to fuck. That's romantic as hell. Here's the other thing with that story. They apparently weren't supposed to fuck until they were married, but there were only 2 people in the garden. And in the Catholic Church, it takes 3 people because someone's got to marry them. So I don't know how this was supposed to work out in the end, but Eve goes and eats this apple because she doesn't want to get pregnant. Or this is what Carol tells us. She eats the apple because she doesn't want to get pregnant, but she wants to have sex. So what does the apple here represent? We're all like, original sin. Nope, birth control. What? She eats this apple, birth control, in order to prevent getting pregnant. I mean, here's the other thing. If I'm in a garden with one other person, I don't want to have a kid either. Don't want to deal with that. So I would have eaten the apple too. But she goes on this rampage to explain that the apple is birth control, and because Eve ate it, she committed original sin, and her punishment and the punishment for all women for the rest of eternity is the pain in childbirth. Now, we all know society loves to victim blame, but I think this is a little bit extreme. But the Bible was written by a man, so I digress. So we're sitting there, and she's talking, and she has us pull out the little cow figurines next. Now, if you've ever sat through an abstinence class, you know exactly where we're at in the class. You know, when they start handing you the little figurines and they're like, hold this, examine it, think about it. Yeah, we're at the abortion section. So we're all sitting there with our tiny cow figurines. The girl next to me reveals that she swallowed hers 20 minutes ago, so she gets sent home. Lucky bitch. So now I'm sitting there holding the cow figurine, and she starts to talk about all cow lives matter. No, she starts to talk about all cow lives matter, and we're all sitting there just blinking at her. Because, yeah, I understand what she was going for, but no, you can't do that. And of course, I'm completely against abusing animals in order to fund the meat industry, but that is not the same issue we're talking about here. And she is just going on full force. So we're all sitting there and she goes, I have a video to show you. And you're probably like, what's this video? We were like, what's this video? She puts it up. It's a YouTube link. It's a compilation of animal births. So we spent the next 20 minutes sitting there watching different animals give birth. I will say the giraffe was quite impressive. I mean, that thing just drops out and smacks the ground. I do have a weak stomach though, so I'm nauseous at this point. I understand that birth's supposed to be beautiful, but this is just not made for me. The video starts to come to an end and she has us pull out these books again. We pull out the books and she asks us to turn to the very last page. So we pull out the books, we turn to the very last page. She says, tear it out and sign the contract. In very bold print, it reads, I utterly swear, I utterly swear to refrain from being milked until marriage. Now, why am I signing this? For me? No, I don't need it. For my mom? That's a little weird. For my dad? That's even weirder. And if it's for her to keep, there's probably some lawsuit involved in that one, so not doing that either. I forged the name and the signature of the girl next to me who went home earlier, and I turned it into her. And finally, after what must have been 8 hours of pure torture, she lets us go. Of course, I have not learned a single thing about sex, but I do have a coupon for a free kids ice cream cone with the purchase of a Chick-fil-A kids meal. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Analyse. Excellent. Give it up for Analyse, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful. Goodbye. Who do we have next, Lauren? Oh, and you're muted, Lauren.
I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. You
The
can't
price of Zoom comedy.
virtual live theater. Up next, we have a fun fact about this person. She was my freshman year college suite mate. We have a Mackenzie, a Carol. Give it up for her. Woo!
Hi. Hey, thank you. Hi, guys. Happy Mother's Day. I love moms, especially MILFs. I actually consider myself to be a MILF to my cat son, Bubbles. You know, MILF is the second most popular porn search term, second only to lesbian. I'm actually a MILF and a lesbian, so I'm like really popular with creepy middle-aged straight men who don't believe in gay marriage. I became a MILF when I adopted my son Bubbles like about 2 years ago. When I moved to LA, I knew I wanted a cat because I'm bad at making friends. I was also poor, so I couldn't afford to take care of a cat. So I had to foster, but I couldn't afford the foster fees. So I had to get a decrepit senior cat. I walked into this cat room at this cat sanctuary to get myself an 80% off bargain cat. It was a mistake. They're all patchy and half balding. Most of them are blind or deaf or both. And they are shitting themselves in their cat beds. But I walked in and I saw this really cute gay couple petting a cat. And I asked them, like, what is it like fostering these old diseased cats? And they said, good, we got our first one last week. And I was like, oh, cool, like, how is he? And they said, he's dead. So I knew I was in the right place. But the cat that I got, Bubbles, was born when I was 8 years old. He's 16 now, which makes me a young mom. But I've made the best of it, I would say. I chose Bubbles because he smelled the least like cat pee and he was fluffy. The good thing about having an old cat is that he has arthritis in his back legs. He can't move a lot, but that's good for me because I can use him as like a heating pad when I have my period. I wanted to give Bubbles a happy like end of life experience, but now I'm convinced that he will never die. He's on 4 different medications currently. He has IBS. He's recovering from a near fatal UTI, and he had to be rushed to the vet for eating a dryer sheet. I think he's begging me to let him go, but I just can't. He's just too cute. I try to raise my son Bubbles to be kind and to be accepting, and most importantly, to hate all men. And it has worked. He hisses at my roommate Sam whenever he walks in the door. Also, Bubbles has killed a few men, but there's no prison for cats, so he's good. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if Bubbles really loves anyone. He's hated every girl that I've ever brought home, except for my current girlfriend, Christina. With all the other girls that I've dated, during sex, Bubbles would jump onto the bed and then sit on their heads and try to suffocate them. But with Christina, he'll jump in the bed and then he'll just like softly paw her boobie. Honestly, like, I am jealous of my son's relationship with Christina. So when she falls asleep, I like to whisper slander into his ear. I'll say, Christina hates you so much. She eats your food in the night. But like, I get where Bubbles is coming from. Christina's pretty cool. I love my girlfriend because one time she burped in my mouth during sex and I promised her that I would never tell anyone, and I still haven't. Maybe when Bubbles passes away, I'll finally get laid again, but I know that Christina will miss his assistance in the boob department. Yeah, Christina's actually 100% Italian, and I thought that when I moved to LA, I had escaped the Italians, but I found another one. I'm from Johnston, Rhode Island, which is known for 2 main things. One, it is one of the most Italian towns in the whole country, and it's also known for smelling like shit. Literally, it's the town with the state dump. You can catch a nice warm breeze on a summer day, and you have to immediately turn around and go back inside. Yeah. Basically, Johnston, Rhode Island is like Jersey Shore, but it smells like Aeropostale cologne and garbage. Although I am part Italian, I am not a Republican or tan. As an Italian, I think I can say Italians can be annoying, but they do love to party. They are very loud and they love to drink. I come from a long line of alcoholics. I decided that when I grew up, I was going to be the one to end that cycle and get really into drugs. Yeah. And that's my time. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Wonderful. Give it up for Mackenzie.
What a lovely message to leave us off on Mother's Day.
Hell yeah. Can't go wrong. Now, Lauren, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you ever thought about doing a comedy set?
Me? What?
Do you
Funny.
want to do one right?
I just wanted to start off by saying that this week has been very challenging for me. I'm going to start it off by saying I did Soul Cycle on Tuesday, and it was the most harrowing experience of my life, but not for the reason that you might think. I'm going to leave you with that little clickbait and give you some background. I love irrational fears. For example, okay, so my mom won't go on cruises because she saw Titanic and Jaws within the span of 48 hours. So like, it's understandable. I had an ex-boyfriend who was terrified of lampreys. And if you don't know what lampreys are, those are like the uncircumcised dingaloos of the deep sea, not like sea cucumbers. He was a vegetarian, so he could handle those. And then when I was 2 years old, I had a dream about this like rat thing. I think it might have been the villain from The Great Mouse Detective, coming into my bed and eating my feet. So I've got a weird thing about that now, and I live in New York, so I do not own any open-toed shoes. Yeah, pedicures wasted on me. No one's gonna see them. Not at all. I don't know. I just don't like it when my feet are just like clenched into something and they can't move. I can't go water skiing either. Like, I need to be able to, like, if a mouse is there or something that's going to eat my feet is there, I gotta kick it. I have to be able to, you can't see that I'm kicking. I wish I, but yeah, I know I have a weird thing that I need my feet to be free at all times so I can kick or run away or kick and then run away. Yeah. I also want to tell y'all about a story that that will explain why I will never, ever, ever, ever go laser tagging ever again. But then again, I said the same thing about getting a cat, but it only takes one attractive man to just say, I think cats are cool, and now I have a cat. But yeah, laser tag is something I will not budge on. I was in 2nd grade. I was invited to a birthday party, or rather, my brother was invited to a birthday party, and it's weird if the other twin isn't also invited. So there I am. Basically, long story short, if you are ever working in a place where it is very dark and there's a lot of loud music and a very competitive atmosphere where one of the chief strategies is to hide, please take note of how many small children walk in. And then for the love of God, count how many come out. And if the numbers don't match, turn the lights on. Don't just go into the loudspeaker and go, Lauren, your mom's looking for you. I know she's looking for me. I'm looking for her too, but this black light and loud music is overstimulating my small brain. So no, Ryan, I will not go laser tagging with you. But I will go to Soul Cycle. Remember how I said that in the beginning? Yes, we're here now. A friend of mine was like, we should totally hang out more. And I was like, yes, absolutely, let's do it. And she goes, okay, well, have you ever been to Soul Cycle? And I was like, no, but I hear it's super fun. And me, being the adventurous, overly people-pleasing self that I am, went, yeah, let's book a class for next Tuesday. Let's do it. Now, because the show that I helped put together, I can assume like 90% of you know what Soul Cycle already is and what happens at a Soul Cycle class. But for the purpose of this story, I want you to go on my mental journey through this. My entire life, since the words soul cycle entered my frontal lobe and were put on the desktop brain folder in things we think we should do, but definitely won't, because let's be honest, what joy will come from this? Other things in this folder involve waking up earlier so you can have a healthy morning routine and bone broth. So I hear soul cycle and what I think it is. It's a spin class, which you know, it's just fun. It's everybody riding bikes together. I love bikes, I really do, but I like bikes where the seats don't give you butt bruises, and when they're outside on like a beach boardwalk and to an ice cream shop. But I was like, look, it's not a leisurely vacation. It's cardio. I love ellipticals. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I get the confirmation email. We got your book. We got your bike. Great. Sign this waiver. Sure. Fine. Okay. Exercise is hard. Yeah. Okay. Your first shoe rental is free. It's strange. I own shoes. Like, what's the big deal? Sign this other waiver. Oh, okay. I think you're just being a little excessive here, but okay. Sure. I'm not going to read all of this because it's about like 50 pages long, but you know what? Whatever. It's bike riding to inspirational music. So they hand me my shoes, and see, in cycling shoes, they have this thing that clicks into the pedal so that you can't fall off, which is awesome. But it also means that I'm clicked into the bike. I cannot kick. I cannot run. I can go like this. That's about it. And so it's, you know, it's nice. It's me just going. Then suddenly there's a huge bass drop. Lights go down. Hey friends, I'm Jenny. Who's ready to find your soul? Let's ride. The world's loudest inspirational hip hop music starts blasting, and everything was blacklit. And remember that story that I told you about laser tag and that incredibly traumatic event from my childhood? Yeah, that shit was all coming back. Here I am having a panic attack in the first 3 minutes of my very first soul cycle class. And Jenny, bless her, she's a great teacher. She's checking up on me. She's like, how you doing, Lauren? And what I wanted to say was, I'm doing great, Jenny. I'm just trying to maintain a stable heart rate and a healthy amount of air in my lungs. What came out was, so after about an hour and a half of this, I was released from my prison and could not get out of there faster. I pushed the doors open and the fluorescent studio light hit my eyes, and I understand. Is what I wanted to keep telling myself, because I bought a package and I have 5 more of these fuckers to do. So let's ride. I will never. Hold on. What the what? You are absolutely correct. Always say no to Ryan.
Say no to Ryan. Don't tell that man yes.
So while I recover from being transported to Laura.
Oh. Just want to scare you there. Leave you in the black light again.
Thanks, because it goes laser tag, feet things, being abandoned on a virtual comedy show. You know what?
Who are we if we don't face our fears?
Why don't we just introduce the next performer, and I'll get over this, I guess.
Our next comedian is wonderful, and I am so excited for you guys to hear her set. Give it up for Olivia HILL.
Hello, hi. So, really quick, just want to touch base with everyone. Did you guys ever get so nervous that both your throat and your sphincter just tighten up? Okay. No one else gets nervous during threesomes? Good to know. Good to know it's just me. I mean, I've heard I'm very good for that reason, but you know, it is doing a number on my esophagus. So if anyone has any coping techniques, please drop them in the chat to your left, to below. I don't know where it is for you guys, but I could use them because I'm currently trying to sequester a threesome with these 2 guys, because one of them is really good at laying it down and the other is really good at kissing, but neither is good at both. You know, I mean, ladies, can't we have it all? I'm really happy that things are opening back up. It's really exciting. But I am a little concerned by some of the cleanliness procedures that places have put into place. I mean, like I drove by the sign the other day that said, "We are now open and cleaner than ever." And I was like, what do you mean, European Wax Center? What have you been doing this entire time? Have you been recycling the wax? What's going on there? You know, I mean, some places really needed the pandemic to clean up. You know, for example, Yogurt Land. All right, I'm 5 feet tall. Those sneeze guards were never blocking your toppings from me. Okay. I cannot tell you how many times an employee has had to tell me, like, ma'am, please, if you want the toppings, use the tongs. And I'm like, I'm not trying to get these toppings. I'm trying to use these toppings as like a rock climbing ledge to get to the Oreos, which you put in the back. So needless to say, that is a establishment that could really use a cleanup, to say the least. I think our lovely host, Lauren, had mentioned going to college when we started this all off. I, too, went to college, and we all know that higher education is, for one thing, say it with me, we go to college to get hot. I can't really hear you guys, so I hope we all said hot. I hope I wasn't the only one. That happens a lot. But I mean, like when I went, that was my goal. You know, I had good grades. I did extracurricular activities. I was ready to become a new woman, and that woman was hot. Okay. So I remember getting to campus as a freshman, looking around and seeing all these girls that were in sororities. So I was like, oh, so that's how you do it. You know, I'll just join them. Osmosis will happen and I'll become hot. But I wish I could go back in time now and just shake myself and say, hey, if you want to be the hottest girl in any room that you walk into, don't join a sorority where you have to compete with 200 other women who are gorgeous to stand out. No, go join the improv team. Okay, you will be the hottest girl just by default. All right? Because look, at the end of the day, honestly, what is the difference between zip, zap, zop and delta, delta, delta? All right, it's all nonsense, and it costs way too much of my dad's money. Another establishment that I feel like really does one in on women is the sport of softball. I remember growing up, my parents really wanted to get me involved in softball. And even then I knew there was something wrong with the sport. And I think I finally put it together. Softball is just plain rude. Okay. Because, you know, say what you will about maybe women not being as physically strong as men. And that's why there's, you know, a men's league, a women's league in most sports. But where did we come up with this stereotype that women can't see as well as men? Why is a softball 2 times the size of a baseball and neon green? Okay, and when did we come up with this concept that women can't use their shoulders in an upwards to downwards motion? Why are we basically giving flight to a bowling ball when we pitch in that sport? That's ridiculous. I don't know if whoever came up with the rules of softball just saw a diagram of a uterus and the ovaries and thought, I don't know where that belongs in a woman, so maybe it's in their chest and the ovaries it goes out into their shoulders. And so if we have them pitch like that, their baby makers will be blown out in one inning, really. So I'm just saying, if anyone here wants to, you know, build a league of our own, comment below or to the side. I don't know where it is for you guys. We're on different screens, but you know, we can be a league of our own. You know, I know Tom Hanks is a little busy, but I think his son Chet has nothing really going on right now. And I think he loves being surrounded by women. So I don't know if it's really a progressive or regressive move, but if anyone wants to play some baseball, please let me know. I should probably also address, it's not really on a related note, but I am Asian American. And with everything going on right now, I don't really feel comfortable speaking on behalf of the community, mainly because they ask me not to. Yeah, I mean, Asian people are so polite. They would never say that to my face. But I hear the deafening silence anytime I speak in a clubhouse on race relations. Yeah, they do not want me there. But I mean, look, here's the story. There was a cat in Japan that found an old man who had fallen down into a ditch, and I guess he meowed and meowed until someone came to save the old man. So Japan decided to make this cat police chief for a day. So what I'm saying is, yes, defund the police, but send those funds to Japan, because not all cops are bastards if some of them are kittens. And by that point, my mic has already been shut off, and the moderators are like, this girl does not get it. There is no amount of literature this girl could read to get her up to speed on what's going on in this nation. Maybe we send her some easy reading infographics with pretty pictures, and maybe she'll start to understand. So that's my experience. But in all seriousness, I think one thing that happens to Asian women a lot is we get fetishized. I remember this guy and I were hooking up, and he was like, "Oh, can you talk dirty to me in Japanese?" And I was like, dude, I can't even talk regular to you in Japanese, okay? So not only am I letting you down, now I'm reminded that every day I let my grandmother down, and also the Duolingo owl down, okay? I get emails from him constantly that I haven't opened my app in months, okay? And, I turn it down, and he keeps pressing for it. He's like, no, just say something. Just say anything. It doesn't matter. I won't know what you're saying. Just say something. I was like, dude, I've had it. All right. I'm done here. You need to leave. Get out. Sayonara. And then he came. So, I lost that battle. But I am reminded that, I should probably work on my Japanese. What's also really frustrating about that story is, like, I said it with the most American accent. So you were getting the Benihana's version, if anything. Which is another time, I had a boyfriend whose parents were like, "Oh my God, we want to meet your girlfriend. We are going to take her to Benihana's." And look, I get mixed reactions from audiences on this story, because sometimes people will come up to me after the show and they'll say, "Oh my God, I can't believe they just profiled you like that," and assume that would be only what you could eat. And I'm like, no, I think you're missing the point. I don't mind if you know that I'm Japanese and want to take me to Japanese food, but I am at least worth Nobu. What? Benihana's is the Denny's of Japanese food. That is the one place where you don't want to eat the fish. And that is our main export. So, I don't know if there's a lesson in this for anyone dating any Asian people, or if once again, I've just embarrassed my entire community. But I will say, I do miss sleeping around. I think the best thing about sleeping around in Los Angeles is seeing all the ways the sun rises over different neighborhoods. Because if you wake up in the Hollywood Hills, that's waking up in the sound of music. But for the most part, I keep waking up on the same rooftop in Koreatown. And that's like waking up in the movie Memento. You're not really sure how you got there, but by the end of it, you realize it's your own fault. So, I do remember this one time a guy came over to my place and he started getting so aggressive with me. And I remember he was like, why the fuck do you want to use a condom? And I remember I had to stand my ground and be like, because I care about my boyfriend. My boyfriend he's the best. He is the one and only guy who thinks that he is my one and only guy. What a champ. On this, this past year has been crazy for all of us, right? It really derailed some plans we might have had in motion. I know that for me, I had a really great birthday present lined up for my younger brother. I was going to give him my ID to start using as a fake, because it's 2021. A bouncer can't ask him why he used to be Olivia. So you guys have been amazing. My name is Olivia Hill. If you want to make a baseball team together, I'm at Free Sample Olivia on Instagram. And give it up for your wonderful host, Lauren.
Thanks so much, Olivia.
Thank you so much.
Loved it. Oh my goodness gracious. I just keep thinking about the softball, because that's so true though. Thing is, here's the thing though. Would you rather get a baseball thrown at you, or would you rather get a bowling ball thrown at you? And honestly, I think that's more terrifying.
I would rather get a bowling ball thrown at me, because I feel like it could just get me in one. Just end it real quick.
You're not. Oh, you're ending.
Just end it real quick.
You're okay. Gotcha. See, I'm accident prone, so I figured I'd at least like big like bruise or something. Like, would I rather dislocate my shoulder or like just completely take it out.
Just remove it.
It's gone. Ow. Alrighty, so our next performer we are super excited to have on. She is a fantastic comedian, and we are so like I literally screamed when she was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do your show." So everybody, please give a nice warm welcome to Ashleigh Rose.
Hi. Oh, Ashleigh, you're muted. Oh, Ashleigh, can't hear you. You're muted.
Whoa, that was a full. How are you? Like, that reminds me of Iron Chef back in the day when they would be like, "This is amazing. I really like the taste." Right? Like, oh man, that was the first food show. Okay, this is harsh lighting, but I just wanted to say thank you. I really wanted to change this and I couldn't figure it out on my phone, so I apologize in advance. Also, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful MILFs out there. Like, you know, MILF I know stands for mothers I'd like to, but I believe the MILFs that I like are mothers that I'd like to fund. You know what I mean? As in fund their careers, fund their dreams. Like, I just hope we as women and moms can get to that point where we're just like, you know what? I'm making so much money. Let me fund another mom's dream. You know, like, let me go buy her a drink. Like, we don't have to get them from men anymore. We can get them with no strings attached, just sending that good old love to another mom. Yeah, it's kind of weird, like, where I can't see anyone, whether or not you think it's funny or not. So that's okay. This is just like my therapy session. My therapist, she just kind of sits there on the other end of my Zoom and I just kind of talk. And when I stop, she just doesn't say anything. So, this is pretty similar. Well, let me start by saying I'm so grateful that one mom, this like Mother's Day had to have been created by a mom, because she was like, listen, my mom's mom, and her mom were not celebrated. They just weren't celebrated enough. And so she was like, I'm going to make sure that on at least one day a year, we're going to recognize the passage of life that we all came through some way or another. Okay. So just thank you to the mother goddess who did that. Let's take a moment of silence for that. Okay. You're welcome. You're very welcome for that. Because I know sometimes we all need a moment to kind of breathe. A lot of people have asked me, hey, Ash, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I know everyone's saying they want a new car or they want some jewelry. I've broken it down to a few things. One, I want a glass of rosé in my hand tomorrow when we go to brunch. Okay, because we're going to brunch. I don't care if there's no more seats available. We're going to stand there until we find a place where mommy can eat brunch. Like, I have spent my whole life making, reservations for my mom and my mom's mom to go to brunch. And last year missed out on that brunch because the restaurants were closed up. But, oh, no. I don't care if it's the busiest day at restaurants. I am going to be at brunch. Okay. And I want rosé in my hand. I want bottomless rosé. I don't know what that tells you about me, but I hope it says, oh, she's so fun. She's so fun. She's a problem solver, because that's the message I'm trying to give. Secondly, I want a dildo. Now, listen, I know a lot of you women are shy about this and you're on the fence, but let me tell you something. A lot of things slowed down. Okay. But the upgrade on the dildo did not. Dildo sales are through the roof. They are making these dildos to be more efficient than ever. Okay. Now, I recommend that if you do get a great dildo, and I mean, if you're not spending over $100, don't get it. Okay. Get you a good dildo. It's okay to ask for one, for Mother's Day if your children are above 18. I think, however age, 18 or 21. It's weird, but But I will say that get you a battery pack, because you're going to need to charge this. There's nothing worse than your dildo just like stopping on you, you know? And who named it a dildo? Like, we didn't have to have a D name. Like, it could have been called, you know, accurate because of its accuracy. You know, it could have been called stamina because it has infinite stamina. It could have been called energy because it keeps the energy going in bed. But they named it a dildo, like it's the stepchild of a dick. Oh, give me a break. Ah! Can you tell? Can you tell this is the face of a woman in a midlife crisis? Yeah, I know. Pre-pandemic, midlife crisis looked a lot different. But this, my loves, is what post-pandemic looks like, okay? This is, it's gotten to the point where I realize like I'm in a midlife crisis because I get irritated over things, just like regular stuff. Like I went into Home Goods and, Home Goods, and you pull in there to get something because I wanted to get something for my mom really quickly. And then you get up there and they ask you, would you like to join our program? And I was like, oh no, thank you. They start scanning and you can get a few things at Home Goods. You can get like a dresser, a chair, you can get a planner, a candle, and you can get some gourmet snacks and supplements all in one thing, all in one sitting. So she's scanning them and she goes like, do you want a bag for this? I'm looking around like, is this a test? Of course I want a bag for this. Like, how is that a question? Am I getting punished because I don't want to join your bonus point system? Someone else has to feel this way. I was like, listen, I love you guys. I don't want to join. I don't want 10% off. Like, I just want to come in here and buy a few random things and bring them home safely. Like, that's it. I don't want to get lost here. I came here for the peace and quiet. Come on. If you don't know this trick, maybe you're not a MILF, okay? But all MILFs know. You go to Home Goods for the peace and quiet. You literally just go around smelling the lights. Unlike, I love Ross, okay, but that's a whole nother situation. It's a whole nother shopping experience. Sometimes certain lights aren't on, okay? Certain aisles are a little messy. It's like a yard sale that just got an upgrade. But when you go to Home Goods, everything's placed nicely. The music, the ambient music is playing. It's almost like the temperature is at a perfect like 75. And everything's right. It's already discounted for you. Like, you go there to get away. Now, I'm just telling you because some of you need to get away. If you can't do a staycation, I'm just saying go straight to Home Goods. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I wanted to tell you about that. It is Mother's Day weekend, so I'll bring it back to some mom material. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, like, I don't know, but I think almost every mom thinks this, you carry this child, you bond with them for, I don't know, 9 months. It's crazy. You go from weeks, they want you to measure time by weeks. And then all of a sudden, no one tells you, boom, we want you to flip back to years. So it's a little confusing, but let's just say 9 months you're pregnant, you bond, you take care. This child takes all your nutrients. You blow up like a balloon, right? People still expect you to go to work, pretend like you're not bloated, pretend like you're not hungry, go to the bathroom 20 times, rather than just when you get pregnant, like, you should just get paid your, whatever it is your salary is, you should just get paid. You're bringing new life into this world. Hello. And honestly, you really should be devoting all your time to just enjoying this, and the world should see that, because we were all babies before. Okay, we're not going to go down that road. But what I wanted to tell you was that when she came out, because I saw those pictures, those sonogram photos. Now, everyone has a friend who's brought that scary sonogram photo where some of them don't even have eyes. It just be like an eye socket just looking through. The baby's always trying to leave or throw up a sign like, Mom, no, peace. I mean, it's terrifying. And these kids, and then they come out, and so you're like, when I show my baby to my friends, are they going to say she's precious? Or are they going to say she's cute? Right? I mean, because at that moment you do get shallow. You're like, I feel like I've been baking this cake all this time, and it's just like Cupcake Wars. It's like, I want my cupcake to win. And we all know a little cuteness helps. And you just wait for it until, you get that confirmation that your child isn't precious, because, oh man, that is just a game killer. You know what I mean? Like, you have all these dreams for your child, but if you find out they're precious, you're like, well, I think we're going to send you to sports, I mean, and that's where my mom sent me, by the way. She sent me straight to sports, and I don't know what hospitals you guys have out there, but she was ready to take me to Kaiser too. I told my mom, I said, Mom, it's a good thing that the hospitals have a no return policy. Okay. My mom, I'm happy to, let me just tell you, I'm visiting my mom right now. I'm so happy to see her because, if I didn't remember how much she got on my nerves, I tell you, I came home and she has gifted it to me. Okay. There is nothing like a mother just over mothering you. Right. But I'll take that. I'll take that like a mom. I'll take that like a daughter, because I know that in the future that I can give that to my daughter, like that's the gift that I'm going to give her. I know it's ridiculous, you guys, but at some point you realize that all the stuff that you didn't want to deal with, you can now pass it on. And I'm not saying I'm passing it all on, but that one I am. Brunch is going to happen no matter what. Okay. If we got to do an Oprah stall at some point where we bring the chef and we set it up and I go through and I just have one little piece of pie and I say, it's so amazing because I'm on a diet, then so be it. But brunch is going to stick around. And also I'm going to mother her during Mother's Day weekend, the way my mom has gotten on my nerves, AKA mothered me. I don't know if I've seen the light or not, but I just wanted to say, like, this has been amazing. And I feel like I talked a lot about MILFs and I talked a lot about, people having kids, but this is for all my single people out there. And me too. I've recently become single, but this is for you. This is a little advice for you, and just take it with a grain of salt. If you find your soulmate, okay? If you find your twin flame and you look into their eyes, you know that you guys are meant to be, and this person is just going to cause this extreme love. Run the other way. Put on your Nikes, put on your running shoes, your sneakers, and run the other way. Miss that this year, okay? Because twin flame soulmates, oh my goodness, listen, we have already had enough with the pandemic. We've already been in a spaceship, our little homes. We want to be free. We do not want to go through this mental asylum again with a twin flame, okay? Because they're going to drive you insane, and they're going to smother you, and they're going to break your heart and all this. So I'm saying go for the guy or the girl who likes you more. You're welcome. All right. Well, you guys, I'm Ashleigh Rose. Please stay in contact. You can follow me at Official Ashleigh. My website will be updated to Ashleigh Rose. That's right. We have a little accent. And I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mothers and all you seeds from mothers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day.
That was fun. See, when you said like the precious cute thing, I was like, oh, I was 1000% like the cute one. That's like having twins. It's like there is one that is cuter than the other, even if they're identical. My brother and I are not identical. And I just want to reiterate that to those of you who have thought about that question. Are boy-girl twins identical? I just want you to think about that question. Like, no, hold on. No, I want you to think about that question. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, man. Well, I think we're forgetting something.
Who? What?
Hold on. Thanks Mom Comedy includes Lauren Dietzel and...
Oh, God, I don't... That's me. That's me.
Do you have some words? I think
I have some words. Now get out of here. Get. Hello, everybody. Hi there. So I'm going to tell you a little something about me. And that is, when I was born, we were just talking about birth. When I was born, I had really long legs and long fingers. So the nurse pointed at my mom and said, "Mark my words," which is an ominous thing to say to a woman who's just had a baby. "Mark my words. She'll either be a dancer or a pianist." Well, guess what, bitch? I'm neither of those things. Change your fate. Choose your own destiny. Who is that nurse? I'm not athletic. I've never been athletic. My parents really wanted me to be, though. They kind of wanted a jock, and instead they got saddled with this spaghetti-armed theater person. I can't throw a ball, but I'm sensitive. Athletes are really powerful, and I am terrified of all of them. I don't know what it is about mastering the human body in some hyper-specific way that just gives you this raw, unhinged confidence. Like, for example, did you know that sometimes long-distance runners just piss themselves while they're running? That's right. They pee, they keep running, and then we give them medals. That's inspirational. Yes, I'm a runner. Yes, I wear Depends. Fuck you. God, I wish that was me. I will say, though, sometimes athletes use their power for evil. And by evil, I mean mildly inconveniencing me personally. There was this one time when I was back in college and I went to Subway because life's already bad. Let's make it worse. And there was this lacrosse bro online in front of me. Now, there is nothing worse than getting stuck behind a student athlete getting food because they always eat like they're about to go into hibernation for the next 7 years. So anyway, the guy in front of me is getting a sandwich, and I use the term sandwich extremely loosely because it was just everything they had at Subway, like vaguely stacked onto bread. The Subway man wept softly as the athlete demanded more olives and shredded cheese. So I wait. I've been on lines before. The Subway man is straining to close this monstrosity, but he does it, and it's my turn. So he comes over to me and says, "What kind of bread do you want?" And I say, 6-inch Italian, please. And then the Olympian before me shoots his hand out in front of me as though he was trying to protect me from going through the windshield at Subway. And he says, "Actually," which is never the way you want to hear a man start a sentence, "actually, I'm getting 2 sandwiches." I went through all 5 stages of grief at the same time. It took all of my strength not to attack him like a wild animal. And he proceeded to order a second, even bigger sandwich. Sometimes, though, sometimes they use this power for good. Now, in college, for my science requirement, me and a friend took a geology course known colloquially as Rocks for Jocks. Boy, did those jocks love their rocks. So one day, we had a wasp in the classroom, and of course, as we were a room full of aspiring adults, everybody fucking lost it. The room was divided, all the humans on one side, the wasp on the other side. He needed space. So we're trying to figure out what to do, when suddenly, this guy raises his hand and says, "Yeah, you want me to get the wasp?" This was a man who didn't have one-on-one conversations. Everything he said was directed at everyone and no one. Now, we had a lot of jocks in my class, but there was a jock hierarchy. At the bottom, you have the jocks that run and piss themselves. In the middle, the jocks who hit balls. At the top, the jocks who hit each other. This man was the jockest of jock. He looked like a Greek statue came to life, put on a snapback, and started drooling. I don't even know what he played. I could just smell the sports off of him. So, of course, when he offered, we were like, "Yes, please, kind sir, please rid us of the wasp." He immediately got up on his chair, which struck me as strange because he was nowhere near where the wasp was. Intimidation tactic? Perhaps. I don't claim to understand the mind of a god. So he walks across a few desks until he gets to where the wasp landed on the windowsill. And he points directly at it. And he says, "Is this it?" As though there were multiple wasps in the room and we wanted one alive. So we're like, yeah, that's it. And he says, "Okay." He punched the wasp. One shot, annihilated. When he was finished, he picked up what remained and he left. He didn't come back for 10 minutes. What happened? I don't know, but I love to think about it. Did it take him a while to find a garbage? Did he hold a memorial before he laid the wasp to rest? Did he eat it? Maybe. Maybe that's why he's so strong. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to welcome back in all of our communities. By communities, I mean performers. So wonderful, wonderful work, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to the audience for watching.
Yes, thank you guys. How do I point at the camera? I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. It was such a blast to work with every single one of these ladies, and it was such a blast seeing your comments. Yeah, follow us on Thanks Mom Comedy. I thought I had a banner. I don't. Hi, Peter. Follow us at Thanks Mom Comedy. Check out the other videos on this YouTube channel. Check out our TikTok account. They all have the same name. It's at Thanks Mom Comedy. And ladies, if you want to give your social media so that our lovely audience can keep in touch with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. At official Ashleigh, ASHLEIGH. That's my Instagram, and on there, there's like a link tree. So
I'm at free sample Olivia, like when you get a free sample at a place, like we used to do before times. But yeah, at free sample Olivia on Instagram or freesampleolivia.com.
I'm at Mac Loves Cows.
Mine is at Analyse, ANALYSE.C.
Great, and we're Thanks Mom Comedy. Thank you guys so much, and happy Mother's Day, Mom. I know you're watching right now.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.